The media office of the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, has denied the claim making the rounds that he is one of the sponsors of the ongoing nationwide End Bad Governance protests. His media team described the claim as reckless and irresponsibly malicious, adding that the former governor remains a patriot who had devoted his time, resources and energy to building a united and prosperous Nigeria. According to a statement issued on Wednesday and signed by Michael Ohiare in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, the claim was only a strategy by Bello's enemies to frame him and make him an enemy of the Bola Tinubu administration. Let me start with you, Mr. Vincent. Do you believe that, first of all, Yahaya Bello has pending issues with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, but he remains innocent until proven guilty? But be that as it may, he also have an estranged relationship with his erstwhile principal, the president of the Republic.
Of our Republic.
And right now, there have been accusations and allegations that he is one of the sponsors of the nationwide protests and bad governance. Do you think that he is calling a bluff by saying that he doesn't know what's happening? Or do you think that underneath that facade, he might have a hand in the sponsorship or even in engaging protesters in this nationwide protest, sir?
Well, the former governor of Kogi State, the president of Yahaya Bello, what evidence does he have as far, being a public figure, in terms of good governance, and then a track record of being the chief executive of Kogi State is concerned? What are his antecedents? Now, if you look at the person of Yahaya Bello very well, and then the different allegations that have been trailing him over time as a governor, and even during the electioneering period when he was about leaving office, then there is much to be desired, when these kind of allegations are coming up. Then for his media team, they want the public to think otherwise, as far as the claim of the proponent that he is one of the sponsors of the ongoing protests across the country is concerned. Now, first and foremost, the media team, if I'm a member of its media team, then I will know that from time to time, things like this will be coming up. And then what moral ground do I have to defend, the person of the former governor of Kogi State, given how he reigned supreme in that state, and virtually, turned whatever that state have gained, after 1999, our democracy, after it turned it to what the public doesn't understand. Now, what other job do I have to do, as far the public image of the former governor is concerned? So, given, the antecedent of the governor, whatever the media team, as it were, are saying right now, in trying to, paper over his image in the face of the allegation, to me, it is just expected. Now, whether he's guilty, whether it is true, is left to be proven. And he that alleged have to prove. So those who have accused him, if they have evidence, they should just come forward. We are tired of, making noise in the pages of newspaper and then over television and radio. We want, things to be factual. We want results. If the former governor, is responsible, for sponsoring the ongoing protests across the country is concerned, as far as the ongoing protests across the country is concerned, then it should be prosecuted, and then if he found wanting, then he should go in for it. But what is most important is this. Now, I wonder the people that are trying to bring up such allegations, against the former governor. Why am I saying this? The protests across the country, are they going to tell us that it originated from those that are allegedly sponsoring the protest? So I'm seeing a situation where they are trying to divide the attention of the public from the real issues, when it comes to the direction, I mean, the intent of the protest. You know, they want a situation where we are looking at a situation where, you know, those that are opposed to the protest are bringing up such allegations, so that we look as if, after all, what is happening is artificial. So it is difficult for me to pitch my tent with either party, as a matter of fact. Okay. Because what we are looking at is that the people, as it were, are fed up with the way things have been, you know, over time, as far as governance is concerned, as far as delivery of dividend of democracy is concerned, as far as the direction of the country is concerned, people are fed up. Now, they decide that enough is enough. They're coming to tell us that there are a few individuals across the country that is responsible, you know, for the demonstration we are seeing across the country. You know, at least a lot to be desired.
Okay. All right, Mr. Positive, sir.
Okay, so first off, if I will jump in on it very quickly, what exactly is wrong with sponsoring a protest? You know, it beats me wholly when we make a mountain out of, you know, a nonsensical molehill in a question like sponsorship of a protest. We are not talking about someone who is sponsoring a coup, or someone who is sponsoring an insurrection, or also someone who is sponsoring a riot. The sponsorship of a protest is not an anathema. It's not against the Constitution. A protest is a peaceful demonstration of the grievances of the people as touching certain issues against the government. What is wrong with sponsoring? As a matter of fact, being one of the active members, you know, of the protest, particularly in Rivers State, this accusation casts aspersion on the genuineness, on the realness of the protest, as it were. That someone who is not known with and for good governance is being said to be sponsoring a protest against bad government. Someone who is not known for, you know, proper and better administration. Someone who has got allegations hanging on him regarding the amount of money that he has stolen in this country. They are telling us that he's sponsoring a protest for good governance.
Maybe I bring in
it's irritating.
Maybe I bring in this context. Maybe they were all they mean that the fallout of the protest, the destruction,
yes,
and being hijacked.
The words, the sentence that was used is that Yahaya Bello sponsors the protests against, you know, or protests for good governance against this very evil government that is ruling the Nigerian space, the Nigerian territory. If you said that, first off, the real thing that we should be, because even the people who are even, you know, representing Yahaya Bello, to me, they are political neophytes with all sense of responsibility, because this should have been something you catch in on. To say that a man who represents, you know, good governance, who represents everything that is great in terms of leadership, would always back this kind of protest, because there is nowhere in the world where you can be tried for sponsoring protests. Nowhere in the world. If you were found to be sponsoring insurrection, if you were found to be sponsoring coup, you therefore could be tried. But Andy Akpotibe is saying, I'm a part of the sponsors of the protest here in Rivers State. There is nothing wrong with sponsoring protests everywhere else in the world. Protest is the way the people would ventilate against the government in a democratically acceptable protocol. Today, as I speak with you, how else do you expect the people to ventilate? You expect that they will go and they'll be committing arson, burning the houses of the people, the few that have stolen us dry? Do you expect that they are going to go in cohort with the military to say that they want to take over, you know, this government that has been, whether you call it democratically put there or, you know, not so democratically put there? Do you expect that this is the kind of thing that should be happening? The people have said that in line with the character, in line with the spirit of the Constitution, we want to go out and ventilate. We want to speak against the evil in our land. We want to speak against how a person, before he even began to analyze the challenges in the regime of the petroleum industry, just swore to whimsically, just sat down and said he was going to remove, you know, the subsidy. Without even analyzing, let me tell you something. In medicine, what you did first when a patient presented before you was to take complaints. You would engage the patient and you were asking the patient certain questions. You would examine the family history, you examine the social history. You are doing all of this so you can get a full picture of everything. You reach something that is called a preliminary diagnosis. You send for some sorts of investigation. The results of the investigations come, you review it in line with the complaint of the patient, the family history, the social history and everything. You reach a diagnosis. Then you can make prescription. Anybody who is not clinical in administering a space just as I have defined is somebody who is not worthy to be there. You come into authority and without taking complaints, without listening to the marketers, without listening to Nigerians, without listening to the government officials, both those in the fiscal and the monetary angle, without thoroughly examining it, without sending these things for fact checking, which is investigation, you reach a diagnosis and you just began to give treatment. The diagnosis eventually has happened to be misdiagnosis because since that singular decision was made, the Nigerian economy has been nosediving. The people have therefore said to themselves, enough is enough. The only way the constitution permits us to ventilate our grouses, our anger against this system is to protest. And somebody, and it's media aid, they are coming to say, who even wants a Yahaya Bello to be a sponsor of the protest? If he was a sponsor of the protest, that would be, an extra feather that would be given to him or added to his cap. Because by my reckoning, Yahaya Bello does not represent anything that is good governance.
At all.
Okay, but there are still issues to discuss concerning this protest, and I will try my best to let us squeeze it as much as possible with the available time left for us. But don't forget that this is not over yet. I mean, these discussions will keep coming up for us to be able to enlighten ourselves and also know the position of each and every one of us, even on this set.